Help me come up with ideas for my D&D game, please.
Roll
Kill
dice.
everyone.
Just rocks fall, everyone dies.
Kill everyone.
Everyone gets one.
Create a signature move.
Like for every character, or for like...
If you are playing, create a signature move that your character does.
Do they have to say the name of it every time they attack with it?
I mean, Ben does.
I do sometimes. I like to just do like really catchy, or like some overly terrible pun whenever I do it, or like I do a move or something like that. But yeah.
So that's mine.
In one of the D&D games I played, actually, it's funny because I was playing a warlord. This is D&D 4th edition, and I had a lot of words that I could say. So I had an inspiring word was a move that I had, and so every time I used it, I just yelled out "Atomics," which is
Dune.
It's Dune. It's Granny Halleck yelling out "Atomics," and I was like, every time I did it, I just did that. And everyone just kind of went like this and went on with the game. Matthews?
So actually, one of the funniest things that ever happened in a D&D campaign that I was in, I was playing a door-to-door salesman for the Acme Corporation.
Cool.
And I had a bag of holding that connected directly into the Acme Corporation, so I could pull out the giant hammer, the portable hole. I rolled a 1 trying to pull a portable hole out of my bag of holding.
Yeah.
It exploded out and enveloped the entire party, and we all had to roll new characters.
Huh.
Okay.
So
Did they... I thought at some point they had specific rules about storing portable holes in bags of holding.
it was very, very homebrew, and
I mean that's great because like
DM.
those rules were to prevent people from exploiting. But if the player, you trust your players, right?
Yeah.
And you don't need to worry about that. I just always thought it was interesting that like they had to come up with special rules for storing portable holes in bags of holding because players were creating like
Pocket universes?
yeah.
Yeah. PJ.
Trying to think of something. I'm a big fan of like traps, but like weird ones. So like the
Like made out of jelly? Or like...
yeah, made out of jelly. The room in the Harry Potter movies where whenever they touch something, it duplicates, and then it continually does that.
Oh.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a good trap.
Yeah, so something like that, but like skew it to be apples or something a little more bizarre than just goblets and treasures.
I had a couple of ideas for D&D campaigns when I pitched doing stuff on Dice Friends.
Right.
And the ones that didn't get used, which I might revisit later, were the players are a group of goblins who are defending a dungeon, end of Evangelion style.
Holy crap.
That one was like a yeah. And my other idea was the players are doing a heist where they've been hired by a cleric of the luck god to knock over a crooked casino.
Oh.
Because the luck god hates cheating. Hates it.
Yeah.
Messing with probabilities?
That sounds rad.
Don't do it. So go and steal all their stuff, basically.
Matt, any ideas about things you'd want to see in a D&D game, or?
My only idea right now is going to bed.
Okay. I would say introduce, like, command your play, if you're DMing this, so command your players to, before they roll up their characters, that they all have to pick a job that is not conducive to, to the thing, like I was a warlord, but that was my character class, but really what I was a merchant. And so it's like, pick something that maybe has to do tangentially to the thing that you are, and be that instead of being the fighter or being the magic, the magic user, the mage, or whatever you want to call them. Pick something attached to that that's kind of like, oh, this is, you have an actual real job, and then have people create characters based on that.
Like, Rogue was always really good for that. You just had to ignore the fact that you could stab someone repeatedly in the kidneys and be really good at it.
Yeah.
Right? Or better than you would expect stabbing someone in the kidneys.
You discover that like about 2-3 levels into the campaign, you're like, I'm really good at this.
I mean, rogues are good for that in third ed because you could, like, they didn't have a great combat bonus, but they had a lot of skills, so
Yeah.
they were just a good, like, general person, right? I'm a person who has a job, right? Maybe you're Frodo Baggins,
Yeah.
right? And then you just ignore sneak attack.
Yeah. That's what made Bonton really fun for me in Dice Friends was I didn't, like, I was like, well, I'm going to roll up a cleric, but I'm like, who is this guy really? And it was like, well, they're albino hill dwarves that live in Chult. They don't really have, like, jobs. Like, they don't have a jobby job. He doesn't run a store or anything like that. He doesn't, like, so what does he do? Well, he's like a healer. He's like the person that people come to look after them when they get hurt in Chult, which happens a lot.
Right.
And he, like, looks after his tribe and looks after maybe people who visit his tribe or whatever, and that's kind of about it. And that really, like, narrowed my focus into what is this guy? He's not very worldly. He doesn't have, he doesn't see outside of the thing that he is. He just wants to get back home to what he's doing.
Right.
And then when the second season of Dice Friends rolled around, it was like, now all of a sudden I'm roped into working for a green dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So I still would rather just go home, but at this point it's like I'm off doing things. Maybe I've grown beyond that, and that's more fun because now your character feels like he's actually growing.
Right.
Yeah.
I had two ideas that were kind of in a similar vein. The first one is both of them involve killing the entire party. But in the first one, kill the entire party, but then do a sub-campaign where they are attempting to just like retrieve their souls back, and they kind of go through like the trials and tribulations of the underworld. And then the second one is instead of like that, like the souls thing going on, they get brought back from the dead by like a lich or a necromancer, and you have to do some sort of heisty type thing to try and shatter their phylactery and sort of regain your free will and whatnot.
Neat.